and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to place my colors today with the Detail Hack brush, which is this one here. You have the smaller side that I like to use to place with. You also have a larger side for contour on larger portions of the face, like your forehead and underneath the jawline. So I'll use both sides today to kind of show you as far as the placement goes for it. All right, so that is dry, so let's go ahead. I am going to start with my contour shade here of Astoria. I'm going to take the small side of the brush first. Dip it on in there, make sure I get enough. All right, so my cheekbone is right here. I am going to literally hug that cheekbone, like right underneath it. I'm not going to go too far down. I am just going to hug that cheekbone. Because otherwise, if you go too far down, you're gonna wind up making this cheekbone more pronounced and mine are already pronounced. Like when I smile, I already have it pronounced, so I don't want to do that too much. So I'm just gonna take literally right underneath, hugging that cheekbone. Same thing on the other side. And the easiest way to find your cheekbone, if you're kind of not quite sure, the easiest way is just to lay your finger on the highest part of your cheek and then just go right below that. So see, it's still not neat or anything like that, but I'm just placing it in the right place. The next place I'm going to do it is going to be underneath the jawline. If you're putting it on the jawline, sometimes you can kind of cut that off. So what you want to do is to create a shadow. See, like right underneath. That just creates a shadow and slims up the face, creates definition there between your jaw and your neck. So it just creates that definition. All right, the next place I'm gonna put it is I'm gonna go down my nose with the small end as well. And when you're doing this, you don't wanna go too far down on the nose and you don't wanna come too close. You want to leave a little bit of space down the middle of the nose so you can put your brightener, but you don't want to go too far down on the sides either because you don't want to conceal or shadow the whole nose. And then you take just a little bit right through here. The next place I like to put some is just right underneath the lips. See how it creates that shadow and kind of plumps up? I'm gonna do the same thing on the tops. And it's gonna look crazy, I know. But once you blend everything, it'll go back to looking plump and juicy. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the larger end of the brush and go along the forehead. If you have a smaller forehead, you want to stay just kind of right around here. If you have a larger forehead, I've got pretty good forehead space, so I'm gonna bring mine down some. Bring it down to kind of meet with the other side too. Okay, so that's my contour. So I have it on underneath the cheekbones on each side, underneath the jawline, and kind of around the lips, and then down the nose. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to place my main highlight color. I am actually mixing two, which is Candlelit and Amber, and I'm going to take the Buffy brush to do these with. This brush is going to give you a little more coverage. I'm just going to kind of rub it around my contour first. But this brush is going to give a little more coverage. Also, if you have an issue with larger pores, this brush is really good to use. It will basically buff the makeup into your skin and kind of fill in some of those larger pores. If you have texture issues, this is also a really good brush to use because again, it's going to kind of buff it out and push your product and stuff into your skin. All right. I'm also going to go along the forehead here. And again, this is just my main highlight. Go along the top of my eyes. Alright, so we basically did this everywhere but underneath the eyes and through the center of the face. That's where my brightening highlight is going to come in. I use the color Linen, so I'm going to take this color here, the lightest one, and this is going to go underneath my eyes, and I'm going to bring it down in like an upside down pie shape. I'm also going to feather it up right through here, the center of the face. And I'm going to bring it down the nose. And put some right, do a little bit in the middle of my cupid. Okay, so now that I've got that on, I'm going to go ahead and blend this in before I do my blush, because I want to show you guys about placing your blush color. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this in. I am going to start with the larger end of the brush and just kind of come through here, and I'm going to bring my contour down. That way I have some color along my neck and my jaw, and I'll blend my main color into my contour shade here. Do the same thing on this side. Push my main shade up into my contour and lift. And I'm just kind of wiping off any excess on my little rag I've got here. Alright, now I'm going to push this contour shade up here into my hairline. I'm gonna make sure I get that covered good, and then I'm gonna push my main shade up into my contour and blend. The name of the game is lifting up. You always want to lift up. You never want to pull down. You always want to lift up and blend. The next place I'm going to go is onto my nose, and I'm just kind of pushing that in. I'm not really moving that color around, just pushing it in. Alright, so now I'm going to take underneath my eyes and blend my lightest color in. And I'm just taking with the brush and just lightly tapping. The brush is super soft, but I don't want to pull on that skin around my eyes, especially underneath. We don't want to be pulling and tugging. So I'm just kind of taking and stippling. Okay, so now my contour shade. I'm going to lift this up with the large end of the brush onto the cheekbone and blend up. So see how this, you can see it, but it's not too dark. You can see the contour. Same thing on this side. I'm going to lift it up and then back. Okay. And if you feel like you have a little too much in one area of your contour, all you have to do is just kind of take and wipe the brush off and just blend. I'm going to blend just a little bit more right through here. I think that's good. But see how this brush just gave me a nice airbrushed look with it? Make sure I blend down on the next some. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you guys about the blush. Let's do, I'm going to do nude blush and show you guys. All right, so we're gonna go with this color right here, Nude. And I'm going to take and apply it with the small end of the Buffy brush, and it's going to go right on my cheekbone and up, almost like I'm working it into my contour up here. This is going to help to lift and accentuate those cheekbones. All right, so now I'm just gonna take with the other side of the brush and blend it up and out. See how that just adds that lift? And I'll take just a little bit of my main color right through here. There we go. So that's where my blush is going at, right through here. Literally on the top of the cheekbone and working it up. That way it focuses the attention here and you have more of a lift to your cheeks. Like this is where your eye goes to for your cheekbone. So it's like framing your eyes when people look. Okay. I am going to add a little bronzer. Let me show you. So this is just my Bella Cream bronzer. I'm just gonna add a little bit of her by herself. And I am just going to add her with the Buffy brush very lightly. Tap in. Tap her around here. Doesn't take a lot of her. Kind of put her all over. She just gives a little bit of color and just kind of evens everything out. We do have a bronzer and blush brush that you can apply her with too, but I just put a little bit of her on with my Buffy brush here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do, I'm just gonna do a quick eye look just to kind of talk to you about hooded eyes real quick. I am gonna start with a color called Soulmate, which is this shade here. And she is just gonna be my all over color. I'm gonna go with the Blend and Tap brush, which is this brush here. I'm gonna go with the end that's a little more flat. Dip her into Soulmate. She's gonna go all over the lid area. From lash line all the way up to the brow bone. And I'm using this more dense brush so that we have a little more color. She's gonna give a little more even distribution of color, a little more packed looking of color. Okay, we're gonna keep it pretty simple with the eyes. So the next color I'm gonna do is gonna be Gigi, which is this shade here. She's a pretty light shade. She's really good transition shade to use on the lid and up through the crease. Alright, and then the next color we're going to use is going to be, let me do, I'm going to do a little bit of ginger. I'm going to go with this color right here, just a little bit. I'm going to go with the eyeshadow everything brush, the fluffy end, and I'm going to put her through the crease. Do the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm going to take with the small end, and I'm going to do a little more ginger, focusing just in the crease, the outer crease, outer corner. All right, so I've got this working up. My eyes are a little hooded, so I do like to bring this color up a little bit above the crease there. Just so you can see it, even when my eyes are open. And some ginger. Okay, let's do a little bit of Philly to line the eyes, which is a pretty brown here. I'm just using the small end of the eyeshadow everything brush and just smudging this color into the lash line. And do the same thing on this side, on the underneath. All right, let's do some brows. And I'm gonna take with a color called Arabian Nights. She's a cream. And I'm kind of brush through. And I'm just using the hotline brush and just going through and filling in, shaping a little bit. And then I'll take the brush and just brush back through. Kind of softens it a little bit. And do the same thing on this side. Try to create a little bit of an arch to make it match the other side. And shape a little bit right here. I'm just kind of feathering right through there. And then I'll take and smooth it back out. Okay. All right, let's do a little bit of mascara. This is just the Foxy's waterproof mascara. My eyes tend to run pretty bad, so I have to do a waterproof in mine. Adding mascara makes such a huge difference. I usually do a couple of coats to kind of get it to the desired thickness that I want. And then I'll go back and fix this because I always get mascara. but I just take the small end of the eyeshadow everything brush, usually that I had my darker color on, and just kind of go back through and just blend it back out. Super easy. Almost done. Alright, so we are going to do some lip liner and lips real quick. And I'm going to go with, I'm going to do something a little different. Normally I line them with a darker color, but I am actually going to go with a different color today. We're going to do Aspen, which is this shade here. Just line it along the outside of the lips there. Okay. And Aspen is actually just one of our contour shades. So she is super light for the contour, but she's also really great at correcting redness and stuff. Okay, so we've lined them with Aspen, and now I'm just going to take the other end of the brush and go back over with a color called Bear. And then last, we're going to brighten her up with a little bit of Summer Love lip gloss. She's a lip and cheek color also, but she's got shine to it. We're just going with a real nude, a very nude lip color today. Do a little bit more of the ginger with the fluffy end of the brush and bring her up just a little more. Here we go. Onto the brow bone so you can see that. Okay. Now I'm going to add my brightening, which is going to be just a little bit of Unicorn, which is this shade here. Just kind of focusing it right there underneath the brow bone. Just so we've got a little shine there. Do some Angel Illuminator. Actually, let's do Honey. She's got a little bit of a yellow tint to her. She's very pretty. Just to kind of highlight. Right there in the center of the lips on the bottom, and that's it. So yeah, so like I was saying, placement of your colors is very important. You need to make sure you get them in the right spot, and then you just kind of blend it from there. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Be sure and comment on the video so that way other people can see it, and I would love for you to subscribe and follow. So you guys have a great day.